How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You are post head of the Charles, and
I got my shirt.
ooh, very nice, very nice. Ooh, tell us all about it. Start from the very beginning.
Oh boy. Um, so we made a lot out of the weekend. We got to see John and Courtney on Friday night, so we met up for dinner. They live in Providence, so it was a little bit of a hike for them, but they drove up and met us in Canton, Massachusetts, while their two oldest were at fencing practice.
Nice.
So, yeah, but it was really fun to see them and reminisce a little bit. And then, so I got there. So we stayed at the hotel and then we got up. Thought we had plenty of time. The hotel was about, excuse me, still battling this cold, about 25 minutes away from the venue. So we get there, and I remember that you park at Harvard Stadium, but I did not know I needed to put in a specific gate number. So we got to the stadium. They gave us a map, which was pretty much not helpful. But luckily, GPS sent us to gate 14, which is where you enter. There's one place to enter to park, and it's enter only. So you exit a different side. So we got there, and then by the time we parked, because we got there at 9. So the goal was I was supposed to meet the group at 9. We parked at 9 finally, by the time we wove our way through and found the gate and got in and everything. So then we're like just booking it, trying to get to the trailer. I was the last one there. I was a little bit late. I probably got there at like 9:15 or something.
Mhm.
But met everybody and got our shirts, which were really nice. One of the ladies had organized that, and they were really nice shirts. I got my hat. So Caitlin had gotten that from the athletic department. Those were very nice.
You got it to, do you have it by you to show or?
Actually, no, I don't. It's in the laundry.
Well, take pictures and maybe I'll
Yeah.
leave the pictures in.
Okay. Yeah, they were very nice. I was a little worried because they were long sleeve and I just don't like being hot. I know you don't like being cold, but I don't like being hot. So I know Caitlin and I were kind of debating, like, do we row with them? Do we take them off? But we ended up all wearing them, which was nice because then the pictures were all uniform.
Mhm.
And it wasn't too bad. I mean, so it was chilly in the morning, but it definitely warmed up. The sun was strong. And let's see. So Matt was there. So Caitlin's brother Matt, they were both on our podcast so far. So he kind of helped us. He was like our unofficial coach, just making sure that we launched okay, knew where the boat was, knew where the oars were.
Where'd you borrow boats from?
So
Or
the boat was from West Side. I'm still not 100% sure, but I think the oars are from Cortland. So the boat was being used again, so we didn't end up having to rig it or de-rig it, which was very nice because the group that was using it had gotten there and rigged it and did a practice row, I think on Friday. And then their race was later on Sunday or at some point on Sunday, or maybe later on Saturday. I can't remember. But it was a survivor row. So I actually meant to go back and watch that race just to see the boat and oars that we used. So our coxswain was great. So she works with Matt at Three Rivers. Kara was awesome. She definitely knew what she was doing. We had to stop, completely stop at least once, but she called it really well because, she had us basically sitting ready to row once she could tell us to go. But we got past a lot. So every time we were getting past, but it was like always like multiple boats going under the bridge at the same time. That's when, because we were getting past, we had to kind of yield and stop and then paddle. We had to paddle twice. I mean, I think the attitude of everyone was really good, that like we weren't stressed about the fact that we didn't get to practice, that we were just all very happy and appreciative to be there. But, you have to respect the sport and the competition. And, like if you don't get a chance to practice and a chance to row together, it's never going to feel 100%.
yeah, yeah.
It wasn't bad. I'm not saying that. It definitely wasn't. But, timings were a little bit, I could see from the bow because I was two seat, everybody kind of had a little bit different timing and like drives. But, for the most part, it was pretty good and it felt good to be out there. You just kind of soak it all in. We kind of looked around before the race and we were like, yeah, these ladies are like recent grads. They're in their 20s. They're tall, they're big, they're strong, they're muscular. And then it was true. Like if you look, I mean, let's just say it. We got last and we definitely had the highest handicap. So, it is what it is. And you know what I kept saying is we made a lot of people feel really good about not being last. Somebody's got to do it,
Someone's
you
got to
know?
do it in
Yeah.
every single race. And I mean, the fact that you guys, A, were out there and
Yeah.
B, like, I mean,
Hmm.
it's not for nothing. That's like, I mean, that's the, people train all year to do
Yeah.
the race. Or like you said, you get a bunch of recent grads coming
Hmm.
off of their senior year in May,
Right.
still training like
Hmm.
like they're going to be competing in the fall, and that you get eight of those gals together and say, "Oh, we're going to do an alumni boat." Like, is that an alumni boat? You know what I mean? Like, like it's not, yeah, it's not the same. It's not equivalent. But I think that it's just so awesome that you
Hmm.
guys are out there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's rowing. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you said, it's not a perfect sport. Like team boats are for teams, and like sometimes that's just,
Yeah.
it's how it works. And
A lot goes into it to make it feel good when you do a head race in an eight. So, getting out there for the first time, like I think we did really well and just like everybody had a great experience. So I think that's a win for us. So,
oh
and
yeah.
we were representing Buffalo. We were the only boat out there from UB. So that was exciting. The girls were very excited that the boat was on slings right next to a boat that was on racks that was called the Rudy Wheeler. So we
Oh,
never had Rudy as our coach, but the girls that I was rowing with, like a big group of them were '05 grads, and they all had Rudy as a coach, and so they were kind of excited to see that. So
that's
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So kind of full circle and
sure.
a really great experience and getting out there and the Charles,
Hmm.
not for nothing. I'm like, it's like it is like the rowing Christmas. It is like
Yeah,
a big reunion, but at the same time, it's like half the people out there are national team rowers. Like,
right.
so you have to preface it when people
Yeah,
are like, "Oh, we didn't get in the top half of our race," and I'm like, "Well,
yeah,
like, you know what I mean?" Like,
yeah,
people get really angry about that, like.
yeah.
Or I was looking at some of the results and shout out to U of R. Holy smokes. Not only did they had two boats in I think it was the women's, maybe it was the women's four. They had two
Uh-huh.
boats in the women's four. Both their A and their B came in the top half.
Wow,
Like,
awesome.
what an accomplishment.
Yeah,
Like coming in first or second or third, like, yeah, that's just amazing, like just like unbelievable, amazing. But like for the average, average college out there, average club, like keeping your bid coming in the top half, that is like winning.
yeah,
I mean,
it is.
like if you are
Yeah,
able to do that, like if you send out like four or five boats and all four or five of them come in the top half and you keep your bid, like you guys are on fire. Like it's not.
yeah,
Like not everybody's going to be like Row America or I or like like or I think I saw some t Saratogas that got Saratoga got very close to the top, maybe like a fourth or a fifth somewhere. Just some of like a Sagatog. Like
hmm,
like there's these programs that who have the depth. You know
hmm,
what I mean? When you're fielding two eights
right.
in like a youth eights race and both of them make it in the top half, you know that you've got 100 kids on your team. Like
Yeah.
and you may have started your training in June.
Hmm.
You already
Yeah.
had your bids. You've been training since June.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you're gonna be on fire. So, like, I think that's like kind of that's the tough part about the Charles is like,
Well, and it's a race. it's kind of like, there's those, like we do the Troy turkey trot, and I know probably the Buffalo one is similar, where like you're not going to be PRing any of those
Hmm.
because you're going to be you're going to be held back unless you're like right in the front of the pack, but you're going to be held back by the amount of crowds, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't go on the course and do like for at least for us, unless you're a boat that's passing everybody, but you're still like trying to navigate that.
Mhm.
Like there's just so many challenges beyond just the rowing itself that, you can't, it's not a straight line, it's not obstruction free.
Yep.
You've got competitors that are, right next to you. And so, I mean, we like with having a stop and paddle, like and then, just having all those turns and everything, like it's definitely, it's part of the race, right? It's part of the challenge. So, it's I was telling Hannah because she always gets so nervous and everything, especially like the first time she's racing in a race that she's not familiar with. I kept saying, well, your coxswain has the really hard job. You have to go out there. But I said, honestly, Hannah, like I was telling her the head of the Genesee, I remember, I think that was a tough race because there's so much of it that is just like there's nothing, right? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
trees. And the
Everything.
fish is like that too, but the fish is a shorter race. Because Genesee is like a 5K, right?
Gonna see the full
Yes.
5K.
Yeah. So that's a long race that you don't have a lot of distractions to like keep you out of your own head. So that to me, when I think of like a hard head race, that's what I think of. Like the fish, you just don't have time to like even when like you want to get in your head about like pushing yourself a little bit harder, all of a sudden the coxswain's like paddle. And you're like, oh no, I was just getting, like psyched up. Here comes a bridge. We're gonna take it to, oh, just kidding. Got to paddle. No. So, like, it is what it is. When I did it 2 years ago, I think our boat started because it was like the first year that Burnt Hills had done it for, I know a few years or done any masters races, maybe in a few years or ever. I don't know. So we started like second to last, and then I think we finished second to last. So, but like I think the boat that started behind us wasn't the one that we ended up beating. So time-wise, it was somebody earlier in the race. So they passed us at some point, and then it was just us. Like literally, we raced the whole course by ourselves, nothing to really like keep us like pushed or, try to hold off anyone. And I said to the bow seat before our race, I was like, I've never been in like a race situation or where you're like under a bridge together and clashing oars. And she's like, me either, because she rode it in like singles and doubles before, which she was like, I'm so happy I don't have to worry about that. Like,
What?
I have a coxswain to keep me, going the right
You
way.
did the double at Charles, right? No.
No, 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 no. I don't know if I would either, at least as a bow person.
I don't know if my boat went straight, potentially. Like I don't but like like the hard thing about like bowing is like I always feel like I can't give like 100%. I feel like I'm turning the valve on, turning the valve off, turning the valve on, turning
Yeah.
the... So I think I mean well maybe I just need to practice it more. Like I'm getting better because I know the Genesee course, so
Hmm.
I don't have to look as much. Like I'm very familiar with the landmarks now and I know where I need to be. And I and I don't know if I mentioned it during the last podcast that there's a boat behind us and I was just swerving like all over the place to keep them from going ahead of us.
Okay.
Really long time. And they were coming up on us, but I'm like they weren't being very definitive about passing. So I'm just like,
Mm.
okay, well, I'm just gonna like we came around 84 lumber and I'm just like, whoop, I'm gonna cut this turn and go diagonal to the next spot where I can go straight. And then when I came into S turn, I was like, whoop, I'm like, basically like you're gonna have to find us again because I'm gonna hide behind this tree again. And then I'm gonna cut like, I just kept cutting because I knew where the spots where I could be. And I could tell that they weren't as familiar. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just kind of move here and then I'll move here. And then every time they needed to be somewhere where they could get ahead of us, like I was sitting there already. So there is like that mind game
Mm.
portion of head racing that if you know the course really well, like so I could imagine if you're very familiar with the head of the Charles that you know all the, of course I was watching those videos on Instagram where people were like, "Oh, well, you need to see this part of this tree when you go through this bridge." I'm just like, I don't know if I could like learn all of that and put it all together. And then on top of it, like you could train really hard, but like how hard can you push while
Yeah,
you're trying to manage all of that at the same time?
right. Yeah. Yeah, we saw so for Hannah's race, she raced on Sunday. We
Is she
dropped
in the
them off.
swim?
She was in the cock squad.
That's fine. Okay.
Yep. So we dropped them off, and then I really wanted to. So the Elliott Bridge was closed on the side where the rowers would be able to see you yelling at them. So, and as a rower on Saturday, it was pretty obvious. Like, I definitely remember, I think because we were kind of battling having people around us under most of the bridges. By the time we got to Elliott, that wasn't the case, so we were kind of on our own. But I remember looking up, and I'm like, no one's there. Like,
Yeah.
this is weird. Like, because every other bridge, and then just remember, I do remember last time having that spot because that's where people who are there with you, like family that's there and like going to connect with you after, it's the closest bridge
Yeah.
to the trailer area. So I remember, I think that's where Chris was when we rode a couple years ago. So you could go on Elliott Bridge, but you could only be on the other side. So like you could yell at them as they were coming under and approaching the bridge, but like as a rower, you have no
Sorry.
idea,
Yeah.
like because you're not like,
That was a
hello.
big deal because that's almost the end too.
Yeah.
Like just right, it's like right when I remember when I did the race last year, and that was right when I thought to myself, like, how much longer can I stay at a 32? I'm like,
Hmm.
because I rode with a bunch of college kids, and
Yeah.
like they were on fire. We were like 30, 32 the whole time. The coxswain was like this little girl from Harvard, and like she knew the course, and she was literally almost jockeying us. If she had a whip, like that's like the type of like she was incredible. But I remember coming under that bridge and thinking to myself, how much longer can I do this?
Yeah.
And just like be like, don't be like the 40-year-old dead person in the back of the boat. And so like, but it's almost the end. So like in my head,
Hmm.
I'm like, it's almost the end. Like, but because I wasn't super familiar with the course, like I knew we were close, but I didn't know how close. And so
Yeah.
like she's calling like these like she's calling it up and everything. And I'm just like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do this very long. And then all of a sudden the race is over. I was kind of like, wow, whew, all right.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, because like when you come under, like you could see all the people, and it's like,
Yeah.
all that energy, and boats are still going up. Like it's just such an active
Right.
experience. It's like rowing on overload. Like, and when you
Yeah.
go to a regular regatta, in
Yeah. It's not like
comparison,
that.
oh, in comparison to the Charles, you wish every regatta could run like the Charles, where like, boats are going up, boats are coming down, boats are going up, boats are coming down. But like, I mean, we did the live stream for, for the Mohawk, and I did the
Hmm.
live stream for the Genesee. There's a lot of sitting around. Like, you'll see
Yep.
boats go up,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
one boat comes down, and you're just like, where are the rest of the boats? So,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. They're very efficient. Yeah, they've got that down.
What
So,
was the hand face? I'm sorry, I
no,
interrupted.
that's okay. So we decided, I decided, I guess, because I was like, I want to be on a bridge. And I get in my head about I want to be placed somewhere where she's going to hear us. And if she does or doesn't, it's just like I want to be
Mhm.
able to scream at her and yell at her to like get her going. And so the next closest one is Anderson. So if you like looked at the map, the turn for Elliott, like right before Elliott, there's like a big curve, right? And so Elliott Bridge is there, and then Anderson Bridge is here, and then up here is like Harvard where you park. So I was like, okay, great. So instead of going out following the crowds over to the trailers, we'll go the opposite way, go out the way that you actually exit in the car, and we'll be at Anderson Bridge. So that's what we did. And when we got there at, I don't know, 7 in the morning, it was pretty empty. So we kind of camped out and waited and saw the sunrise. It was very pretty. Saw all the singles going up. And then,
Your picture.
yeah, so it was great pictures, very pretty. And then we saw the girls. They launched pretty early, so we saw them and got a chance to root for them. And they were smiling. They could definitely hear us. So then we crossed over and got our spot. We were kind of more on top of the race, the crews that were going up to the start, but kind of in the middle. And, we had a good spot. Some of the girls that were kind of helping out and just going to watch. So all of the varsity girls made the trip out. So that meant three of them that were not racing actually came to support the team. So they helped. They got dropped off with the racers and helped them, and then they decided to walk over to Anderson to watch with us. And yeah, so they had, I can't remember their official place. They didn't place top 50%, but they did beat quite a few boats. They had a good race. They were very happy with their race. The coxswain did an excellent job. So, the most entertaining from that bridge was watching the singles race before, because it was first I think it was the youth boys and then the youth girls. And where Anderson Bridge is, like I said, you're kind of approaching that turn. With the singles, if they're not paying attention and they're just rowing a straight line, they really need to start, if they're not over on their starboard side, if they're not far enough on their starboard side, like if they're far enough over, they don't have to turn quite yet. They can take more of a straight shot. But if they're too close to the middle and they don't start to make the turn towards, I guess, starboard side, right? Yeah. So so what happens is they're going under the bridge, and this side, if this is making sense, they're
Mhm.
going to be able to do a straight and then start to make the turn. But if they're too far over here in the middle, they were kind of going like this, and then they were going into the warm-up lane.
Uh,
And so like you'd see them and you'd kind of be able to tell who was going to end up in that situation. If they were close enough and still pointed that way, we would be like, turn, start to turn, So it's like we were participating in the regatta. We're like, you gotta move over. And then some of them were doing it, and it was kind of like they couldn't help it because they were getting pushed over based on someone else, or they were following somebody who was doing that path. And then they would get like pinched between the buoys, or some of them did cross over the buoys. So that was kind of interesting. I mean, you don't see that with the coxed boats because it's a pretty wide space in the river, so they have plenty of time to see where they need to be. But those, straight the singles, like that was entertaining to say the least. We didn't see any crashes or anything, but we did see, kids kind of crossing over those buoy lines. And luckily, the warm-up lane, people by then it was mostly cox boats that were coming up. So, if they had had singles and singles, I'm sure there could have been more clashes. But as the singles were racing, it was either Cox fours, Cox quads, or eights that were coming up to the start. So they had plenty of time to move over. But yeah, and then we got to see the ECAC eight. They were the race right after the Cox girls quads. So we watched them and cheered them on, and then we headed back. And then the girls kind of, took care of all the stuff. They trailered with Niskiuna, so all they had to do was get their boat ready to go. And then we did some shopping with Hannah. The boys went back to the car. I realized I am so sorry. I forgot my assignment. Um, there's just so much going on.
Gosh, yeah.
The coast, I did not see any. I mean, I wasn't looking, but we were kind of scoping out everything, all of the vendors, and I didn't remember seeing anything for coastal because we were looking for Flippy because we had done the survey to get the free bucket hat. That was a big scam because they ran out of hats too fast, even though they said if you did the survey. So they should, if they were being honest about it, they should have capped the survey on how many free hats they had, but they didn't. And they were selling it for like $40. We're like, yeah,
Oh no.
no. But we got some like, free water, free chapstick, free stickers, free apples,
Birds.
a couple different things. And then some not free stuff that we bought. So,
Do they
um,
have like the boys in the boats with the wood co look on them anymore? Or any like fun
I did
looking
not.
boats, any special
Um,
colors or any
So yeah, they had one. I didn't get any pictures either, but they had one that was like a pixelated sheep. At least that's what Hannah was describing it as. I didn't look at it close up. And then they had obviously the Vineyard Vines one that was all whales and blue and pink. And so that was pretty cool. Did we see anything else? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember seeing anything stand out, like no new things. But yeah, we did see they had, as we were leaving, we didn't stop because we're kind of in a rush to get out of there. They had a booth for North Pole rowing and they were selling wrapping paper with like little reindeer rowing on ergs. So that was kind of cute. If
Yeah,
I hadn't just spent a whole ton of money, I probably would have picked up a roll of that. But
that's awesome.
yeah, but it was a great experience. Great weather. The girls all had fun. We had the hotel like did work out mostly. I mean, it was a little further. I think I would have chosen to be a little closer, but and it wasn't like the most updated, but it worked out fine. There was no issues. They actually opened breakfast early, which was really nice because we had to leave before 6, although we didn't really leave before 6, but that was
Oh,
the goal. But they had opened up breakfast probably by like 5:15. They had stuff out, even though technically they start breakfast at 6. So that was really nice because I had grabbed some stuff to give out to the girls, like bagels and fruit and stuff, but just so people had another option. And there was coffee, so that was good. I know you're not a big coffee drinker,
yeah,
but
I'm not the coffee drinker.
coaches are, so they were happy. They got their coffee. Chris was happy he had his coffee. We had dinner at Bertucci's, which is like a family style Italian restaurant. Way too much food, but it all worked out.
Oh, it
Everyone
was.
seemed happy about that. So yeah, so it was a good trip. Good trip. Lots of traffic on the way home to be
Oh,
expected.
I'm sure. But fall foliage, was that
Beautiful.
peaking as you were driving down the expressway on the way home?
It had to be. I mean, it was so pretty, everything, different colors and everything. Yeah,
Mm.
very nice.
I
We
think
saw
that,
Dan. We saw Dan and
oh,
Donica, his wife. I know you haven't met maybe Donica, but Donica was at the info booth on Sunday, and then Dan does he like rides his bike and just does like check-ins at different stations. So
oh,
after I think it was after Hannah's race, maybe before the ECAC 8. I think that's when he stopped by. He had gotten a video of Hannah at Elliott Bridge, so he shared that with us. But yeah, his volunteer role was to like ride his bike along and just check in and see if
okay.
anyone
So he
needed
was an
anything.
official volunteer.
Yep. Yeah, he's been doing that for a few years. Both of them have.
Yeah.
So,
I have
yeah.
a couple people. I know a couple people who do it. Like,
Hmm.
I think one person I know does the sustainability, and then
Okay.
one of my clients he's at the docks. He does
Nice.
at one of the singles docks or something like that. So he does that for a couple hours. But I mean, it's a lot of time on your feet too. I mean the swag's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
they definitely have some beautiful swag. And I remember last year when we were up at the start, there were, a couple different, how like they have the wakeless launches kind of positioned in like kind of I want to say like I don't know if they call it a playpen, but it's kind of like the idea of like the playpen area where people are just kind of waiting, the staging area.
Hmm. Yep.
And we got close enough to one of the launches and we're like, how long you guys been up here? Like, because our race was, I don't know, maybe with like early afternoon or something like that. And they're like, yeah, we've been here since the morning. And like, just like, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I've done it before at a regatta, but just like to be sitting there and to see all those different boats go by for hours and
Yeah.
hours and hours. I mean, at least it was sunny. The weather was nice. It wasn't too cold. Like, I mean, you said there was like a chill in the morning, but like
Hmm.
normal October on the water chill, nothing
Yep.
extreme or because they've had rain, they've had
Yeah.
snow, they've had, all sorts of things that can happen. So,
Hmm.
yeah, but just sitting out there for hours and hours. But they do have nice swag, like the hats that people get, the jackets are nice, the vests. I mean, I've seen all sorts of beautiful
Hmm.
vineyard vines clothing that people get from volunteering. I've never volunteered, so I'd love to maybe,
Yeah, we should do that. That'd be fun.
yeah, maybe we should volunteer next year. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Head of the Charles in the books.
Yeah, it's done.
It's
Yep.
done. It's done. It's like a big thing, such a ramp up, and like now it's like kind of like okay. Schuylkill is the
Head of the fish.
head of the you guys are doing the fish,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Are you doing the Schuylkill?
No, no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. This weekend, counties. for the kids.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
that's so
How did it go this weekend?
so this weekend was it's a kind combined meet between Rush Henrietta and Hilton, and really like all the teams from the local area come for this particular. It's like the I don't know if they call it the pumpkin run or whatever it is, but it's kind of a senior day too because it's at our own regatta, or not regatta, but our own park.
Uh-huh.
So that was really cool. It was just a 2 mile run. So a little bit quicker.
Hmm.
Mikey, Emma, and Luke ran it.
Okay.
Um, Mikey, it took him, I think, 21 minutes. So he's getting better. And he didn't
Okay.
run the whole time. We're trying to encourage him to run the whole time, but okay.
Okay.
So he's modified. So he's,
Okay.
seventh grade. He ran with seventh and eighth graders.
Hmm.
Emma ran it in, I think, 18 minutes, 18 and
Okay.
minutes. So
Nice.
she's getting better.
Hmm.
So I think like her first mile was like eight something, and her
Hmm.
second mile was like nine something. So she slowed down a little bit on that second mile, but she's working on it. Luke did his in, I think it was, I should look it up and not get it wrong. I think he was, I want to say 14. No, Luke was 11 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I
Wow.
want, yeah, 18 minutes for 21 for Mikey, and then Luke was 11 minutes. So that's like
My gosh. Yeah.
four, no wait, 5.5 minute miles.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he came in like still came in like 40th something or something like that. The kid who won did it in 9 minutes.
My gosh.
I was like, what? Like, so it was funny because that's kind of the order they went in. So Mikey went first, then Emma, then Luke. And so like, like cross country is like rowing. Like so if you can catch the race in different spots, you try to. But you have to be strategic because otherwise you can't move fast enough to the next spot to cheer them on. So for Mikey, like we started at the start line and then we walked over to one spot and cheered him and then walked over to another spot and cheered him because they kind of doubled back. And then we walked over to the finish line. So nice, easy. For Emma, we started the start line, walked over to one spot, kind of ran to the second spot, and kind of ran to the finish line. Luke, you would have thought we were running the race too, because we like we were like we had to be on the far side of the start line so that we could make it because the kids have to run like this big loop around the corner, but they're running like 4 minute miles. So you're like trying to like run over diagonally across a field, and then we ran diagonally across the field to get back over to the finish line. Like if we were, yeah, I like Luke and Mikey was running with me. I'm like, Mikey, you need to run this fast. It's your turn, not when you're trying to, because he was trying to like run faster than me to get to the different spots. So he's like, I beat you, mommy, I beat you. I'm like, dude, no, use that during the race, not while we're trying to like run to go cheer each other on. But it was very good. It was very fun. And then we were able to, we went out to dinner afterwards too, which was a nice treat because we
Hmm.
really haven't had a chance to do that. We had, the person who was staying with my mom was able to stay a little bit later, so we were able to go out as a family, like our just little core family, the six of us. So,
Nice.
we Mikey wanted to go to Chili's, but there was like a 45-minute wait. I don't know, like he's all these chain restaurants, he's very obsessed with them, and I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
commercials on YouTube or something, but we
It's a thing. It's a generational thing. They're really into
yeah, he's like, I
them.
want to go to Chili's. I'm like, why? I'm like, what could you possibly want from Chili's? Talking about some type of like honey barbecue Carolina style mozzarella sticks. So I don't know, some type of random crazy concoction
Hmm.
food that he wanted. And but it was a 45-minute wait. We didn't have enough time between the time that the person was staying with mom, could said that she could stay until. So we went to a local place called Coletta's, which is like a little Italian place. I'd never been to it before. Shout out to Coletta's or anybody who's listening to that on West Ridge Road. Amazing, so good. Homemade breads, mozzarella sticks, like they were like mozzarella logs that were like hand breaded and then fried and like in like a pool of sauce. It was delicious. Mikey was completely happy, and they had garlic cheese fries, which he was very excited about. So garlic Parmesan cheese fries.
Mm,
Um, and Mike and Timmy got baked ziti. It was everybody was and Tim got chicken French. I mean, it was happiness all the way around. So
good.
it was very, very good. And then on Saturday, I took Em over to the Galleria. And I don't know if I mentioned that like the Galleria is like still in Buffalo is still like a real mall. Like
Hmm.
so many stores that you can't finish it. And so
Yeah.
So Em and I went and we tried our best. We tried to get into every single store. We went, if anybody's looking or planning on going to the prom or ball, and you know you're gonna go, like go now and buy the dresses from last season because they are buy one, get one. So Emma,
Mm.
I don't know if she's planning to go to the ball or not, but she has four dresses now.
Oh
So
my gosh.
like they were
Wow.
so cheap. They're like $20. Like she got this beautiful like sequence mermaid style one. She got like a blue dress with like a little bit of sparkle on top. She got a light blue dress with like little sparkle sleeves.
Where did she get all these dresses?
Pennies.
Wow.
JC Pennies. Yeah, they're trying to clear all that stock because now they're getting like holiday dresses. You know how they do
Hmm.
like holiday gala kind of style dresses. So those were like the ones that were on the regular racks. And then
Yeah.
they just had racks and racks and racks of prom dresses. I was
Wow.
it was incredible. I'm like it was so crazy. And then they were buy one get one. So I was like, okay, why not? Never know. You never know. I mean, like if she doesn't use it this year, next year she's a junior and she goes to the prom. So
Hmm.
on the off chance that she's just kind of like not so pressed about it that she wants to buy the perfect dress, she can just go in her closet now and grab it or homecoming next year or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
Hmm.
To hang out and play dress up with her friends, who knows? But she she has four formal wear gowns that she can now decide to wear. But
Very
it was
nice.
fun. We had a true a little mom and daughter weekend at the mall, old school style. Made me feel like pre-pandemic. The place was full of people.
Wow.
People, buying things like, like we bought so much stuff that we had to take bags back to the car. Like it was just silly. I mean, but fu silly and fun and nostalgic too. Because I mean, I remember that used to be something you could just kind of do. Just like you just go
Yeah.
either with your friends or I'd go with my mom and we'd
Hmm.
shop and look at things and try stuff on and
Yeah.
buy stuff that you don't even need. The real purpose of the trip was she has a chorus concert this Thursday.
Ah,
So
yes.
she needed a black long sleeve, like
Hmm.
blousey kind of dressy shirt.
Yep.
The black pants still fit, but she didn't have a shirt that she really liked. So
Hmm.
we ended up finding that at Macy's. So
Yeah, Macy's, my go-to. Every time Hannah has something she has to get a dress for, it's always Macy's. And I don't know why we don't always start there. We do now, but it took us a while because they were always like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. And then it's like, nope, we're gonna end up at Macy's and are gonna find the perfect dress.
yeah.
So, yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's
that's fun.
very cool. So are you rowing the fish or is Hannah just going?
Hannah and Keegan both are racing twice.
Oh,
So they're both racing in an eight and a quad. Um, and I think they're both not stroking both boats. So they're stroking, like I think Keegan is stroking the eight, but not the quad, and Hannah is stroking quad and not the eight.
oh, okay.
So yeah, it should be interesting.
How long is the fish? Is it a full 5?
It's no, it's not. It's a shorter one. Let me see if I can find that out.
And what is tail of the fish?
So Tail of the Fish was something that we were trying to do this year, but it just wasn't quite what we were hoping. It didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of entries. I mean, you have to be
Tail of the fish is
invited.
earlier?
Yeah, it was going to be October 5th.
Okay. And is it shorter?
I
Or is
don't
it
think
like
so.
is it like the other half of the like is it a different course? Like I'm trying to figure out like why is it different than head of the fish?
So I think it's a copycat version of how there's the Tail of the Charles,
Oh,
which is
okay.
a thing too. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I think the Tail of the Charles is a thing too, but it's also an invitation only. So Head of the Fish is 3,200. So it's only 1.9 miles.
Oh, okay. 3,200. That's a good length.
It is, but like I said, like so the nice thing about it compared to New York State's, it's the same body of water, but
Yeah.
obviously longer than a or a sprint race. Um, if so, where we by the time this comes out, it'll be after, so I don't think I'm giving away my secret to too many people, at least for this year. Probably next year I will be kicking myself. But we like to watch from right across from the Skidmore boathouse. There is a bridge right there, and
Okay.
there's a restaurant right across the creek from Skidmore's boathouse. and it's closed on Sundays, and that's when the kids race. So the nice thing is the parking lot, at least as of like last year, they don't close it off. So it's really nice to park there. You can park really close. And then there's all these like docks that are there that most boats are out, but like the docks are still there. So you can even go out into the docks. They're very narrow, rickety docks though, so you have to be kind of careful. And it's always freezing cold. So sometimes they can get icy, but
Mhm.
you're very close to the rowers, and the bridge is a very low bridge. So
Yeah.
it's again, it's a really nice place to yell because or get videos because you can get with I mean, I have a terrible phone. Like my quality of camera on my phone is not great, but like I can get a good shot of them because you're so close.
Yeah.
Um, and they can hear you. Whereas there's no other part of the race, like there's nothing. It's house, maybe houses, but most of the houses aren't even that close. And there's a lot of they're weeds, but they're like the kind of tall grass in the weeds, you know? So it's not
Yeah.
like even if you had a house on the creek that you would even be able to see the race from your backyard. So it's literally you're rowing and there's nothing.
Mhm.
So there's like
Is
boats
that
going
the
up to
race
the
that has
start.
the caterpillar sign?
I don't know.
Worm sign or like a billboard with like a caterpillar on it. I don't know. That's whenever I think of like Head of the Fish, I know I've wrote it and like I remember like them saying something about a caterpillar sign or like it being like a landmark. Never mind.
I don't know, but I don't know anything about that. But there's nothing remarkable about it. That's the
Yeah.
thing is that, I mean, and it's a real, like, to be honest, it's kind of annoying because, I mean, it's nothing to do with the way they organize it. They have their limitations. Like,
Yeah.
there's just very few places to watch and then very few places to park. So it's a shuttle situation, you know, or you're parking like a mile and a half or 2 miles away up a hill. And Stewart's is right there, which is nice, but it's mobbed. And yeah, so it's there's always, you know, the for the fish too. It's so that where they have so for states, they at least have the food tents that are pretty close by.
Mhm.
But for, I don't know why, but for Head of the Fish, they're like so far away.
Yeah.
So always the problem is that, you know, you get everything organized for your food tent and then you get maybe half of the kids that actually go because they have to hike way back into the woods to the
Mhm.
food tent areas. It's not the best setup to be honest, but you know, it's a local race and Saratoga does a great job with what they can control. They do a great job with it. They run a good race. So, yeah, so that's, you know, we're always going to do fish because it's like in our backyard. I remember doing the Schuylkill. We must have done it with UB too. So we must have alternated or something because I remember doing the Schuylkill
I remember
and
doing
we
swivel and
definitely did the fish
remember
too.
doing fish too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe potentially were they on different dates at that point? They might have been on different dates.
No, I think they're always in conflict with each other, maybe because of the days,
Hmm.
but I don't think we ever did both of them in the same year. It was
Yeah, that
probably
would
one
be
year we did
that'd be a lot
one.
to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, huh.
One year the Schuylkill was canceled and I was coaching for Union that year. And so then we ended up doing the fish instead because I think the Schuylkill was on a Saturday and the fish was on a Sunday. But now the way they do it, it's definitely a 2 day race and they do smaller boats. At least I think the way they do it, I don't know. They split them up. So at least for the kids, if they want to row singles, maybe smaller boats, it's on Saturday. And
Mhm.
then all the rest of the youth events are on Sunday. And I remember watching the Masters, this was 2 years ago. I
Mhm.
think last year was a little bit more consistent. And the college rowers were on Saturday, and it was beautiful, but it was very sunny,
Mhm.
maybe a little windy, but it was a nice day, generally speaking. And then Sunday was miserable. Like kids getting hypothermia, it was
Uh,
freezing, it was raining, like downpouring, like all day long. There's not a lot of relief either because you're stuck. Like they're just stuck there. There's no place to warm up, there's no place to get out of the rain. Like unless you have a tent there, you're just stuck there dealing with it. And I remember going to work the next day after it was just Hannah rowing, and she was like, "Oh my God, that was miserable." And then I went to work the next day and was talking to the RPI kids, and some of them worked with me. They were like work study students in my office, and they were like, "Yeah, I mean, the weather was fine, but like, man, like the sun was in my eyes the whole time." And I remember going home and telling Hannah, I'm like, "Those college kids are complaining about the sun." She's like, "Oh my God." It was miserable. So you never know what you're going to get with for the fish. I mean, usually it's mud, snow, wind, fog,
Hmm.
rain. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just you just don't know. So we'll
That
see.
time of year, like, I mean, even yesterday was so gloomy and gray. I'm like, oh, we're in it. But then the sun's back out today. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, can deal with this. Like if we get a gloomy day, a sunny day, gloomy day, sunny day, I can kind of hang with it through but you have to kind of accept we are in fall. It's getting colder, the water temperature's going down. So I think if I'm gonna try to row the single at all before the end of the season, like I gotta do it like this week or this weekend or something like that, before it gets way too cold to be out there in the single. It's the wrap up, you know what I mean? We're kind
Yeah.
of getting to the tail end of everything for fall racing. And of course we got pull the plug as the very last kind of little hurrah of racing. You know what I was thinking? Maybe, should we do a UB alumni boat at the pull the plug?
Maybe
That
that
might
would be
be
kind of fun.
fun.
Do you think we could get, so there's quite a few in that group that if there's if they didn't like totally like say, "Oh my God, never again." Maybe we could convince them. So what events do they have at the Pull the Plug? It's mostly masters, right?
Yeah, it's Masters, so I mean you just row the Masters 8 as a as a just as a UB alumni. Let me see, pull the plug. I must have typed this in a million times because it came right up. So we could do like a Masters Women's 4, we could do a Masters Women 8. Where's the Masters Women's 8? Is 10 a.m. Oh, I love that time.
Oh yeah.
Early, first thing out of the way, get it done, be out of there. I love
Let's
that. Because then you have the rest of the day to kind of they've condensed the times. They've got everything starting at they have the coaches Cox's meeting at 8:15. And then it's weird. The times are kind of weird.
I'm looking for it on here.
They've got
Where
like a race saying like 3 p.m., 3:10 p.m., and then there's a bunch of races where the times are all 11:59 p.m. So they haven't quite gotten this updated yet, but it is Saturday, November 2nd.
it
Um,
says no, it says the first.
oh wait, maybe I'm looking at the wrong year. Oopsies.
And there's only one club signed up so far.
Yeah, because it's early.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's really thought about it yet. Okay,
Okay.
wait, there we go. But yeah, the times are kind of messed up still on this list.
It says 10. Yep.
But
Yeah, nobody.
I like that the Masters Women's 8 would be at 10. I don't know.
I'll put it
Maybe
out there. We'll
we'll put
see.
it out there because if I could find us a boat to row.
Okay.
And I could find us a boat and then some oars. I think shout out to Genesee Waterways. I think they're trying to row an 8, and either it would be a men's 8 or yeah, they'd have to row it as a men's masters 8 because it's got guys in it.
I was going to say, so one of the Burn Hills alumni was rowing with West Side. I don't, she might, I'll have to ask her if she's planning on rowing it. I was thinking alumni, but she's not Buffalo alumni. She's Burn Hills alumni.
We could put out a little message because there's local Buffalo alumni here. I know at
Yeah.
least three
Okay.
people who are local Buffalo alumni, then me and then you.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
five.
Okay.
Coming up with the last couple plus a coxswain might be the tough part, but
Okay.
and it's 4,100 meters.
4,100. Okay.
It's 4,100. So
I
and
was,
it's
yeah.
got a little life to it, but it's not crazy.
I was looking to see if I could see a course map.
I have a map. I can send you a map.
Okay. But there should be one on here.
Yeah. But I should get moving today. I've got to
Yep.
get down to the clinic and treat
Okay,
the people. But
sounds good.
but well, let's put a little bit of life into the idea here because if we can get a women's eight, it's in the morning, it's a third race, get people in and out. Um,
Here's a thought. Is there a mixed eight? Maybe we could, if we can't get eight women,
I
I'm
don't
thinking
know if
maybe we
there's
could
a,
get, if Dave is going out, we could get Dave to jump in the boat
I
with
mean,
us.
there's the men's open eight, so we could just or the men's masters eight too, but that's later in the day.
So there's no mix. Yeah, I don't see a mixed eight.
There's no mix or alumni. So,
Okay.
um, but
All right, we'll see what we can do.
yeah, we can, there's definitely some people we can pull together. Um, I would, and especially because if it's early in the morning, like we could, if it's the race is at 10, you'd be done by 10:30. People could be home by noon. So you really would just need from 8 a.m. to noon,
Right.
open in your on your calendar for that Saturday. So
Okay. All right, we'll put something out. I'll do it right now before I forget.
yeah, we'll see if we can
Okay.
get some people to come out and row with us. That'd be awesome.
All righty.
All right, have a great rest of the week,
You
and
too.
yeah, we'll start looking for some people to row an alumni eight together. Go UB.
All right.
All
Bye,
right.
Adrian.
Bye. Take care, Kate.
Take care.